Jai Gurudev. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrasham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Vande Guru-paramparam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev. Bela, are you able to share screen?
Jai Gurudev Brahmaraji.
Yes.
Yeah, just give me 5 minutes, huh?
Otherwise, let me share from my computer, from my phone. Okay. Fine. I think I'll be able to do it. Just hold on. Just...
Brahmara, if you want, I can do that if you wish to.
Yeah. Yes, please, Mrinal. If you're able to share screen, that will be wonderful. Yeah, thanks.
Just let me know the shloka.
It is shloka 24. I don't think we've completed that completely yesterday. It's Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi.
That was completed, Brahmaraji. Page 136, Mrinalji.
Yeah, are you able to see the page?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yagnas include various forms of discipline. That was the last topic.
Uh, so are we going to do the 25th? Oh,
Yeah, either Mrinal, either you or Bella can read if you're able to.
Belaji, would you mind?
Yeah,
Because I have got cough, so I might be coughing.
Yeah, if Bella, you let me know if you're able to, otherwise, I will read.
yeah. I'll read just for some time and I'll let you know, Brahmaraji.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no problem.
Tomorrow, okay, I will talk to you first. Okay.
No problem. Bye.
In the following section, a discipline is called a yagna, and it refers to anything that is to be done or offered by some purpose of self-purification and steadiness of mind. The Lord presents the pursuit of knowledge itself as yagna, Jnana Yagna, against the background of various other yagnas that are helpful for preparing the mind to gain the knowledge. दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माग्रावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्यति यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति अपरे योगिनः, some yogis, karma yogis, daivam yagnam. Could you please scroll little bit? Daivam yagnam, ritual invoking deities, eva, alone, paryupasate, perform, apare, others, sannyasis, brahmagnav, unto the fire of Brahman, yagnam, the self, ahankara, yagnena eva, by the self itself, upa, juhvati, offer. Karma yogis perform only those rituals that invoke the deities, while others, sannyasis, offer themselves by themselves unto the fire of knowledge of Brahman. At the beginning of the 3rd chapter, Krishna told Arjuna that he had given the world 2 committed lifestyles. Gita, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Shlok 3. One lifestyle is sannyasa, wherein the commitment Nistha is pursuit of knowledge alone. The other lifestyle is Karma Yoga, a life of activity wherein the pursuit of knowledge is coupled with karma. Krishna also made it clear that both lifestyles are not for the sake of moksha, liberation. I think we have done it yesterday, no? Dr. Savita?
Yeah, we were on shlokas 26 we have to do today.
Yeah, Mrinalji, could you please scroll a bit? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Just little up, please. This is also finished, no? Now, 26 shloka. This is to be done. 26. Little up, Mrinalji, little up. Just a line was remaining to be read for this shloka. Okay.
Are you not able to see the shloka? Because
Just a line ahead of shloka, one line was there.
okay.
I have logged in from my mobile only. There is no rule governing which disciplines are to be performed by whom. You may choose one or another depending upon what you need. Thus, a few disciplines performed as yagnas are mentioned by Krishna. Shrotraadinindriyanyanye संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन विषयान्यन्य इंद्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. Anye, others, sanyam agnishu, into the fire of self-mastery. Shrotra dini, organs of hearing. Indriyani, senses. Juhvati, offer. Anye, others. Shabdadina, sound. Vishayan, sense objects. Indriyagnishu, into the fire of the senses. Juhvati, offer. Others offer their organs of hearing and other senses into the fire of self-mastery, while still others offer sound and other sense objects into the fire of the senses. The first yagna described in this verse relates to the sense organs, the ears, and so on. Shrotradini indriyani. Shrotra means ear, and the suffix adi, meaning etc., refers to the eyes, nose, tongue, and skin, sense of touch. These five are the organs through Could you please scroll, Mrinalji? These five are the organs through which sense perceptions such as hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, and touching respectively take place. Here, the organs of sense perception and the organs of action are all offered unto the fire of self-mastery. Does this mean that the organs themselves are offered? Does one pluck off the ears and nose or pull out the eyes and tongue to offer them unto the fire? Of course not. In fact, the person does not do anything. The discipline described here is control of the senses or inner mastery, sanyama. People who follow this discipline are practicing some sanyama, meaning that they do not go by their fancies. In other words, they practice alertness with reference to the senses. A discipline is not an end in itself. We see this alertness or deliberateness in Buddhistic meditation. Those who practice this discipline remain aware of everything that they do, even the opening and closing of their eyes. This practice definitely has its benefits, but it can create tension also and should be followed up with inquiry. Inquiry should be the main emphasis, whereas the practice itself is a discipline, meaning that it is not an end in itself. This discipline is a means for gaining a certain composure. Thus, the first yagna mentioned in this verse is a discipline wherein the sensory activities dictated by fancies are offered unto the fires of self-mastery. Sanyama Agnishu. The sense organs being many, fire appears in its plural form here. It should be noted that it is the activities that are offered, not the senses. All fanciful and mechanical activities are offered unto the fire of deliberation, meaning that all one's activities are, could you please scroll up? Conscious and deliberate. This is what is meant by control. The other yagna described here is the offering of the sense objects, sound, and so on. Shabdadi Vishayan, which include touch, form, taste, and smell. These sense objects are offered unto the fires of the sense organs, Indriya Agnishu. But then, this seems to be no different than what is happening everywhere in the world today. People are lining up to see all kinds of movies and are listening to all kinds of music, feeding their sense organs with whatever sense objects they want. This, of course, is not what is being said here. Shankara explains the compound Indriya Agnishu as Indriyani eva Agnayah. Indriyani eva Agnayah, meaning that the senses alone are the fires. Unto the fires of sense organs, the sense objects are offered. Taken literally, it would seem that sounds are offered unto the ears, forms are offered unto the eyes, smells are offered unto the nose, tastes are offered unto the tongue, and touch is offered unto the sense of touch. This is what we commonly do throughout our lifetime. Where then is the discipline here? We are talking about yagna, which means discipline. Discipline in activity. To clarify this point, Shankara says that for the people discussed in this verse, there is a discipline in all this. Just as a mother decides what her child should eat, how much and when, and this becomes a discipline for the child until he can decide these things for himself. So too, yogis follow certain disciplines. Some follow Shama, which is mentioned in the first line of this verse, and others follow Dhamma, mentioned in the second line. The senses are offered with a certain discipline. How much to see, how much to hear, how much to talk, how much to walk, and so on. Knowing how much to eat, for example, the person eats no more, even though there may be a desire for another helping. These are all disciplines which are the practice of Dhamma. Initially, yogis practice mainly Dhamma so that they can come to Shama later. In this way, they live their lives with discipline. With reference to every sense organ, there is a sense object. The yogi offers the sense objects to the sense organs, but he or she holds the trump card as it were. The sense objects do not carry the person away. Even though he or she lets the sense organs go out into the world, the person practices restraint dhamma by ensuring that only dharma is followed, not adharma. The yogi feeds the sense organs with whatever is proper. Aviruddha. Aviruddha means that which is unopposed to one's pursuit or conducive to one's welfare. This point is crucial in understanding the meaning of yagna here. Without harming his pursuit, without hurting the dharma, the yogi perceives and enjoys the sense objects, feeding the sense organs in a manner that is conducive to his pursuit of knowledge. So beautiful. The word juhvati in this verse is also important. It does not simply mean to feed the sense organs or to sacrifice something. It means that you are doing the offering. You hold the trump card and are not letting the senses feed themselves. The senses want more. Your senses always demand more, but you say no. This is like a child wanting the chocolates that he had collected.
Your voice is breaking, madam. Your voice is breaking.
Is it? Shall I read the paragraph again?
I can hear it clear.
Yeah, even I hear it clear. There is no vibration. Maybe
Yeah,
please.
I will check it up myself. Okay.
Okay, I'm reading the paragraph again because it's very important. The word juhvati in this verse is also important. It does not simply mean to feed the sense organs or to sacrifice something. It means that you are doing the offering. You hold the trump card and are not letting the senses feed themselves. The senses want more. Your senses always demand more, but you say no. This is like a child wanting the chocolates that he had collected on Halloween, but the mother says no. Why not? The child says, they are my chocolates. I went around and collected all of them. Why should I not eat all of them? Yes, the mother explains, they are your chocolates, all right, but I will keep them for you. You may have one today, and another one tomorrow. Even though the child may cry, the mother remains firm. Here you do the same for yourself. You mother yourself by disciplining the demands of your fancies, which is the practice of Dhamma. Further, Krishna says,
Means these two words, these two lines. The first line is Shama, and the second line is Dhamma.
yes,
That is what it is.
so beautifully mother-child relationship Swamiji has explained in a simple way. Sarvanindriya karmani pranakarmani chapare atma sanyama yogagnau juhvati jnana deepite. Apare, others, jnana deepite, lighted by knowledge. Atma Sanyam Yoga Agnau, in the fire of self-mastery. Sarvani, all. Indriya Karmani, activities of the senses. Prana Karmani, activities of the organs of action and the actions of the pranas. Cha, and Juhvati, offer. Others offer all the activities of the senses and the organs of action unto the fire of, could you please, yeah. Others offer all the activities of the senses and the organs of action unto the fire of self-mastery lighted by knowledge. The seekers discussed in this verse are sannyasis, but not jnanis. Because they are sannyasis with no obligatory duties to perform, they offer all activities except those required to maintain the body unto the fire of self-mastery. Atma Samyam Yoga Agnau Juhvati. Such people live a life of meditation and contemplation called Atma Sanyam Yoga. Unto this fire of meditation that is helpful in self-knowledge, those who are given to meditation offer all sensory and other activities. For the people discussed here, the usual activities of life resolve into one life of meditation. Thus, they do nothing but meditation and whatever that is necessary to maintain the body so that the knowledge can be gained. The previous verse talked about seekers who live in the world, but the seekers in this verse are renunciates. They remain where they have to remain, live a life of meditation and pursue knowledge. So this verse is for sannyasi and the previous verse was for grihasti. Here then, meditation is being emphasized. These seekers are sannyasis as well as yogis. For them, there is viveka, that discipline being lighted by knowledge, jnana dipita. In other words, they know exactly that they want the knowledge that is moksha. Self-mastery leads to knowledge. Here, jnana dipite means lighted by knowledge, a knowledge of what is right and wrong, what is nitya and anitya, real and unreal. Thus, both vairagya and viveka are there, but dhamma and shama are still to be gained. In order to gain this self-mastery, these seekers have given up all activities and have taken to a life of meditation. Such sannyasis are many. In the next verse, Krishna describes more yagnas. Anyone would like to share for the distinction between the grihasthi, jnani, and here the sannyasis? It is very important for us as seekers to know the difference. Okay, self-mastery leads to knowledge. Here, jnana dipite. Okay, I already read, no? In the next verse, Krishna describes more yagnas. Dravya yagnastapo yagna, yoga yagnastatha pare, svadhyaya yagnan yagnascha yataya sanshati. Svadhyaya jnana yagnascha yataya sanshita vrataha. Tatha, so too, apare are the others, dravya yagnaha, those who distribute wealth, tapo yagnaha, those who follow prayerful disciplines, yoga yagnaha, those who practice yoga, cha, and svadhyaya jnana yagnaha, those who pursue knowledge, samshita vrataha, those of firm vows, yatayaha, those who make efforts. So too, There are those who distribute wealth, those who follow prayerful disciplines, those who practice yoga, and those who affirm vows and efforts who pursue knowledge. Here, Krishna points out various other disciplines or yagnas that different types of seekers are engaged in. Those who distribute wealth in the form of money or whatever else that may be given as charity are called dravya yagnas. To distribute one's wealth, could you please move? To distribute one's wealth, dravya can be purely charity or it can be given as a yagna, as an offering to the Lord, as a means of invoking the Lord in the form of this sacrifice. A person who does this is called a dravya yagna here in this verse. The footnote, Tirtheshu dravya viniyogam yagna buddhya kurvanti ye te dravya yagnaha. Those who perform dravya yagnas, that is, distribute money as a yagna, are called dravya. I'm reading the footnote, Mrinalji. Could you please just scroll a bit for are called a dravya yagnas. Yeah. Just down because I did not read. Yeah, thank you. For example, in India, a good part of the wealth in the form of cows, land, gold, clothing, vessels, or grain that a man leaves behind when he dies is distributed to the people. In fact, this distribution is the main part of the ritual performed after death. Before the cremation, the distribution takes place. To distribute one's wealth as a yagna while living helps one gain antahkarana shuddhi because there is giving involved. So beautiful. Another set of seekers described in this verse are the tapoyagnas. Those who practice various types of tapas are called tapoyagnas. Shall we read the footnote, Mrinalji? 1. Tapoyagnas. Yeah. Tapah yagnah yesham te tapoyagnah. Bahuvrihi samasah. Those who practice the various types of disciplines as a yagna are called tapoyagnas. Tapas refers to any kind of prayerful disciplines undertaken for the sake of atonement or discipline. The vows that one takes are also tapas. Some people, for example, take a vow of not eating on Ekadashi, the 11th day of the moon, each month and spend the day in prayer. Such people are called tapo yagnas. Tapas is not just any discipline, it is prayerful discipline. Otherwise, even jogging and aerobics would become yagnas. Here the attitude is religious and therefore is again for antakarana shuddhi. Those seekers who follow Ashtanga Yoga, 8-limbed yoga, are called yoga yagnas. Ashtanga Yoga is a prayerful discipline wherein the Lord is worshipped. Ishvara Pranidhanam is one of its prescribed observances, niyamas. Still others who are yataya samsitvat yatayah samsitvrataah people of effort and people whose vows are very clear are Swadhyaya Gnana Yagnas, those who follow the discipline of study and knowledge. Swadhyaya Yagna refers to those who learn to
As we
chant.
are doing it now. Swadhyaya Yajna is as we are doing it now. Manana.
Yes. Swadhyaya Yagna refers to those who learn to chant or recite their own Veda. There are some people who, having learned the Veda in this way, do nothing but recite a portion of it daily. Such people are called Swadhyaya Yagnas, those who perform the Yagna of Swadhyaya, and those who study Vedanta, who inquire into the Vedanta Shastra, are called Jnana Yagnas, those who perform the Yagna of pursuing knowledge, Gnana. Here the Swadhyaya Gnana Yagnas are the people of great effort, Yatayaha, whose commitment to the knowledge is complete, Samsita Vrataha. And these people do both these yagnas and are therefore referred to as Swadhyaya Gnana Yagnas in this verse. Other seekers follow the discipline of pranayama or breath control, one of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, which is also looked upon as a yagna, as we shall see in the next verse. अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगति रुद्ध्वा प्राणायाम परायणाः तथा so too apare others pranayam parayanah, those who are committed to the practice of pranayam, breath control, prana apana gati ruddhva. Ruddhva, stopping the flow of inhalation and exhalation. Apane, into the incoming breath. Pranam, the outgoing breath. Prane, into the outgoing breath. Apanam, the incoming breath. Juhvati, offer. So too others, those who are committed to the practice of pranayama, breath control, stopping the flow of inhalation and exhalation, offer the outgoing breath into the incoming breath and the incoming breath into the outgoing breath. Those who practice breath control as a yagna are called pranayama parayanas. These are people for whom pranayam is the param ayanam, the ultimate end. The primary end for such people is the practice of pranayama. In other words, they are committed to this practice for the time being. In the third word, in the word pranayama, prana means breath and ayama means discipline. Thus, the discipline of breath control is called, could you please scroll? Pranayama. Prana has several meanings, all of which imply living or breathing in one sense or another. Life itself is called prana. Sometimes prana is used to refer to metabolic activity or to the entire physiological activity. Digestion, circulation, and so on are each referred to as different pranas. In addition to these general meaning, prana also has a more specific meaning. The outgoing breath or exhalation is called prana, and the incoming breath or inhalation is called apana. there is a footnote, Mrinalji, number 1. Prak gamanvan vayuhu pranah, adho gamanvan vayuhu apan. The air that goes out in front of the person is called prana. The air that goes down, that goes in, is called apana. Yeah. Apana also has a more general meaning, referring to the system responsible for elimination of anything that is thrown out of the body. In this verse, the more specific meaning of prana and apana, exhalation and inhalation, is implied, wherein the act of respiration is presented as a discipline performed as a yajna. Inhalation and exhalation as a discipline. Feeling the lungs by inhaling the breath is called puraka, and emptying the lungs by exhaling is called rechaka. Puraka and rechaka. One can pause between inhalation and exhalation, and again between the exhalation and the next inhalation. During these pauses, the air is retained inside the lungs, and this is called kumbhaka. Each of these activities is a discipline that can be followed consciously. And when they are followed deliberately and consciously, varying the duration of each according to the type of pranayama, the pranayama itself becomes a yajna. In this verse, Krishna mentions 3 types of pranayamas, the very practice of which become yajnas. The first is the one in which prana, exhalation, is offered unto inhalation, apana. This is a kind of puraka pranayama, in which the inhalation is given predominance over exhalation. Apane juhvati pranam. The second is the one in which apana, inhalation, is offered unto prana, exhalation. This is a kind of rechaka pranayam, in which the prana, exhalation, is given predominance over apana, inhalation. Prane juhvati apanam. The third is the one in which both the flow of both exhalation and inhalation are stopped, and the air is retained either inside the lungs or outside the lungs. This is the kind of pranayama called kumbhaka pranayama. Here, the inhalation and exhalation are offered unto the retention prana apana gati rudva. Anyone would like to share?
Yeah,
That
this
is what we hold the breath, when we do pranayama. We count, we inhale first and then hold, then exhale, again hold. These are all the same. Kumbhaka and all.
the ajapa jap, when we do the ajapa jap, the mantra which is taken, it is taken half in the inhalation and half in the exhalation part. So it's just like the yajna going on. If you are in the practice of ajapa jap, initially, like, you have to do it deliberately, then after some time it will become a practice. So the
Yes.
whole day the yajna will be going on when you chant the mantra, half mantra in inhalation and half in exhalation. I've been I just started around 1 month back, so it's The whole day the mantra goes on. Sometimes you forget, like when you are doing something, it goes off. But a time will come when if I'm talking, the mantra will be going on. It has to be done in the after dividing it according to the time, same period of time inhalation, and same should be the exhibition. Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
It helps a lot. Like it makes you more focused, and the thoughts you become more of centered, and you focus and concentration improves a lot, and especially it helps in meditation. It helps a lot.
Yes. I'm just reminded our Gurudev has so well beautifully designed the whole 3-stage pranayama, Bastrika, and then the Soham meditation. It is like a Bhagavad Gita package. Breath retention, Kumbhaka. The exhaling.
Practical Bhagavad Gita. Say.
Yes.
Practically. If you do that, you not have to read.
Practice. Knowledge and practice both. Breath retention, Kumbhaka. The exhaling flow of breath is called prana gati, and the inhaling flow is called apana gati. Both the prana gati and the apana gati are stopped by the person, meaning that the breath is retained in the lungs for a certain length of time. This retention is called kumbhaka. Kumbha meaning a pot. Just as water is retained in a pot, so too breath is retained in the lungs. During kumbhaka, the person does neither prana or apana, stopping both the flow of prana and the flow of apana. Prana apana gati ruddhva. The person offers one into the other. The exhaling breath, prana, and the inhaling breath, apana, are each offered in breath retention called kumbhaka pranayama. This kumbhaka is twofold. The retention that takes place after inhalation, called inside retention, anta kumbhaka, and the retention that takes place after exhalation, called outside retention, bahis kumbhaka. The duration of each of these kumbhakas depends on the relative duration of inhalation and exhalation. Because the person practicing pranayama is carefully measuring the breath, he or she does not cut short any of the 3 disciplines involved: inhalation, retention, or exhalation. Any impulse to do so is not followed by the person. He or she maintains the stipulated time. Therefore, there is yagna in the discipline. Into the outgoing breath, the incoming breath is offered, and into the incoming breath, the outgoing breath is offered. This then is what we call the practice of breath control, pranayama abhyasa, performed as a yagna. Pranayama yagna for gaining a certain tranquility, alertness, and steadiness of the mind. Pranayama and a steady mind. The logic here is very simple. By converting the involuntary action of breathing into a voluntary action, you come back to yourself. All you do is breathe. But by breathing deliberately, there is a certain discipline involved. A discipline which helps you. A discipline which helps you gain a steady mind. When this is the end in view, the discipline becomes a yagna, and because there is a prayer involved, there is Antakarana Shuddhi as well. I think we can have the discussion for this, or I should go ahead with the next verse. Persiji, would you like to share your, because you had beautifully presented those pranayama and its impact on our anatomy and physiology. Or anyone would like to share? Should I go ahead?
Hello, I think we can go ahead and then we can discuss.
Okay. Nothing purifies the mind like prayer. Thus, the seekers here gain antakarana shuddhi and also steadiness of mind because of the discipline. Having presented the discipline of breath control in this way, Krishna then mentions in the verse the discipline in eating as a yajna. अपरे नियताहारा प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेऽप्येते यज्ञविदो यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः. अपरे, others, niyata aharaha, who regulate their food intake, pranan, their desires to eat more, praneshu, unto the digestive fires, juhvati, offer, survey, all, api, without exception, ete, these, yajnavida, who observe religious discipline, yajna kshapita kalmashaha, though they become though for whom Shamyatam Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha, become those for whom the impurities of the mind have been destroyed by the yajna. Others who regulate their food intake offer their desire to eat more unto the digestive fires. All these people who observe religious disciplines become, without exception, those for whom the impurities of the mind have been destroyed by the yajna. Those who regulate or measure their food are called niyata aharas. Only this much will I eat and no more, they say. While ahara refers to anything that goes inside of oneself. Ahriyate iti ahara. Ahriyate iti aharaha. Including the sense objects enjoyed by the senses. Generally, it means food, drink, and whatever else that goes into one's stomach. There is a rule governing the quantities to be taken in, which says half of the stomach is to be filled with solids, 1/4 with liquids, and 1/4 is to be left empty for the movement of air. In other words, the 4th quarter is to be left alone. Nothing is to be put into it. This then is how the quantity of food is to be measured by those who practice this form of discipline. There is a footnote. Puraye dashanenardam trutiya mudakena tu vayoho sancharanartham tu chaturtha mavasheshayet. That is already explained that you have to just fill half of the stomach with solid, then a little with liquid, and then another with, it should remain empty. Vayoho. Yeah, shall I read that again? There is a rule governing the quantities to be taken. in which says half of the stomach is to be filled with solids, 1/4 with liquids, and 1/4 is to be left empty for the movement of air. So in other words, the 4th quarter is to be left alone. Nothing is to be put into it. This then is how the quantity of food is to be measured by those who practice this form of discipline. Disciplined eating as an offering. In this particular discipline, there is a yajna because there is always the desire to eat more or not to eat at all if the food that is available is not very tasty. Therefore, not responding to the desire to eat or not to eat becomes a yajna by observing measured eating, which is why such people are called niyat aharas. They offer their desires with reference to eating and to the digestive system, which creates the hunger and thirst. Pranan praneshu juhvati. Even though the person may still feel hungry, he or she stops after the appropriate quantities have been consumed. And if eating between meals is what is to be avoided, then the person does not take even the smallest snack, regardless of his or her hunger. Such desires for eating are offered unto the prana of digestion, unto the fires of digestion, unto the fire of hunger that causes digestion. Those who follow this discipline as a yajna also live a life of prayer in common with the other types of seekers mentioned in this verse, in these verses. A life of prayer enables the seekers to gain a certain control over themselves, a certain self-mastery. Here, those who offer their desires for food into the fires of digestion also offer their prayers, thereby making this particular discipline another kind of yajna. So beautiful. There are various yajnas practiced in terms of food, none being superior or inferior to another. Everyone practices his or her own discipline, and all such people are called yajnavids. Yajnavids. In this verse, meaning those who follow various yajna or disciplines in terms of eating, what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, and so on. Such practices may be based on religious or cultural traditions or may be purely individual. Any type of discipline is considered a yajna if it is a religious discipline. If a discipline is practiced for the sake of health alone, for example, it is not considered a yajna. A diet is also a discipline with reference to eating, but it is not a yajna because there is no prayer involved in it. Only when there is prayer involved is a discipline considered to be religious and therefore a yajna. The results of performing yajna. The word kalmashas in this verse means impurities and can refer to any type of defect, including any impurity in the mind, antahkarana ashuddhi. One's ragadveshas, likes and dislikes, and any unsteadiness that may be in the mind because of the pressures of the raga dveshas are all kalmashas. These kalmashas are destroyed, kshapita, or for those who practice yajna. From the standpoint of the result, gain, and the means employed, a name is given to these people. Yagna kshapita kalmasha. Those whose impurities of the mind have been destroyed by yagna. All religious disciplines are efficacious for achieving this purpose. A certain integration, antahkarana shuddhi, is gained whatever be the discipline followed. No one discipline is superior to another. Which one to practice depends on what one wants, what one needs. This alone must be kept in view when practicing any religious discipline. The difference between a religious discipline and any other discipline has to be properly understood. Religious disciplines are not mere disciplines, which is why we do not call aerobics or following a special diet a yagna. For any discipline to be considered a yagna, it must be religious. I think we can stop here for Manana. We can just close our eyes for a few moments because so beautiful Swamiji had described in a very wonderful way every yagna through a religious discipline. Yeah, so beginning with the pranayama as yagna, then food. Kindly share your. Dr. Savita ji has shared beautifully the offering of Ajapa mantra also as yagna. Anyone would like to share?
Here the Ashtanga Yoga is mentioned.
Yes.
In that pranayama, shama, dama, all asanas, all are the yajna. If it is followed with Ishvara Parijnana, means with Ishvara as the mind behind, then only it becomes yajna. Ishvara Pranidhana.
Yes, becomes prayerful.
Prayerful. That is what is religious. Otherwise, it becomes just like an exercise.
Eating food is not a yajna, but if you offer it like you offer the first preparation to the Lord, and then you would it be called yajna
Prasada.
or no,
Prasada,
like it would not be called yajna, you know?
No, of course it is called, you are taking just the prasada, right? You are taking the food as prasada by offering it first to the Lord. And then again there is the word yukta aharya, where I think in one of the verses
yes,
says that.
But it
that
would
Yukta
be called
Ahara
only
Vihara.
prasada. Yeah.
Yukta Ahara Vihara. Both
But
food and also the
process is not called yajna, right? It
I'm
would
sorry?
only be called prasada. It would not be called yajna.
Yeah, the prasada, when you take it as just yukta ahar, then it becomes a yagna. First prasada you are accepting as prasada, and then you are taking, I mean, you are offering to your Jatharagni as yagna only. The same
Okay.
prasada, if you consider our Jatharagni,
Yes.
then you are giving ahuti of
to the
same,
Jatharagni.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
it becomes yagna. But only when it is followed with the discipline that you eat as per mention. Only the only the quarter should be with solid, another quarter with liquid, another quarter with air, and another quarter completely without anything.
No, it's half is with solid. Half is solid, one
Yeah,
quarter
half.
with liquid.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Half with solid and then a quarter with liquid and quarter with air.
empty. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If we
Sorry.
follow these disciplines, if we follow this discipline, every action will be meditative. Don't you think, sir?
Every breath will become
Yeah,
like an offering.
offering. And so meditatively, we will do every action. Even eating will be effortless and very simple. Means we will remember always how much we have to eat. There will not be a craving also.
And by doing this, we will cut our sanchit karmas also.
This is just to do the antakarana shuddhi, preparation for the knowledge, ultimate knowledge. This is the preparation we are doing. Only when you get the knowledge, all the karmas will be burned.
Yes.
Only with the knowledge.
Even like your the stars, your unfavorable stars would be not so disturbing if you are in the yagna bhava.
Mrinalji, is there any connection with fasting? Because there are so many astrologers, that's why I suggest certain days of fasting. Is there any relationship?
Maybe it is to do with the alignment of energy, that energy with the Shuddhi from your side. Because
Then it becomes a religious.
each day is assigned to one Panchamahabhuta, and above that there is one God. So maybe aligning yourself with that energy, then the prayers will be answered, or maybe
It becomes religious. It becomes religious.
Yeah.
Then that is yajna.
And very importantly said, I mean, I was just thinking also the diet also could be yajna. Then just the next paragraph you read, that diet is not yajna, it has to be with the prayer. So
yeah,
important.
that was so cautiously mentioned by.
I was just thinking of people do different kinds of diets, so that also is yajna, because there is a discipline over there. But no, it has to be done with the prayers, prayerful mind. With that Shraddha and Bhakti. Yeah, very eye-opening.
That is why they say whenever we do even Ashtanga yoga, any practice we do, we need to do it with honor and respect. It's not just doing it. Even our kriya when we do.
Therefore, there is
or even
Ishvara
yoga that we
Pranidhana.
do.
No, there is Ishvara Pranidhana also is one limb, you know.
Yeah. Ishvara Pranidhana is like when you surrender completely.
Completely, yes. Shall I take one moment? Because we came to a Ashtanga Yoga. I found one article, a talk by Sri Ravi Shankar in German Ashram, Padang Dos, during evening satsang, 29th July 1997. In that, the third Ashtanga, this is Asteya. Anybody can tell anything, whatever Asteya is?
Asteya is non-stealing.
Non-stealing. That we understand that way only. But in this article, Guruji tells a wonderful definition. I had not found anywhere else. Asteya is not missing what you don't have at this moment. The real meaning of Asteya is not missing what you don't have at this moment.
Very
Not
beautiful.
wishing, very beautiful. This
Yes.
I found it so good, not wishing things to be different from what they are at this moment, not regretting.
Correct.
And again in the Patanjali Yoga, he gives this, the third yama is asteya, not stealing. You may admire somebody's voice, you see, and wish you had a good one. See here, you may admire somebody's voice and wish you had a good one. You have already stolen it. See, such a beautiful. Even to think that I have a good voice and I should want it. That intention itself is a stealing.
So beautiful.
Such
That's
a
so
beautiful.
really beautiful.
You have already stolen it. You may admire someone's looks and wish you looked like her. You have already stolen her looks. This creates jealousy and a desire to have something that you admire. This is the reason why people steal. See, the product is not stealing, but the asteya meaning is not missing what you don't have at this moment. The correct meaning of asteya. So, asteya eliminates jealousy and the tendency to steal. People steal many things. Some people steal someone else's plans, others steal techniques, then again someone steals others' things. These things do not work. People who steal remain poor.
Again, everything boils down to, accept everything the way it is. Accept.
As it is.
Yes.
As it is. Such a beautiful knowledge. Guruji has converted all those whole Bhagavad Gita in that 5 knowledge.
दृश्य से दृष्टा में आ जाओ. स्थिरत्व. From stabilizing the unchanging, move from changing to unchanging.
That is what Satya. See, that is again the second Ashtanga. It comes in Yama. In Yama, there are 5 rules: Ahimsa, Satyam, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Parigraha, Aparigraha. So, these are, Yama means those are not to be done. To do and not to do, Not to do is Yama, and Niyamas are to do. Such a beautiful things in our. And Niyamas are keeping clean, many things. Again, the 5 things are there. He has given that also. Cleanliness, Santosha, Swadhyaya, Tapas, and Ishvara Pranidhana. These are the Niyamas. We have not to forget this Niyamas. That is, yes, to do, and not to do is our Yama. That is
Santosh, you have forgotten. Saucha Santosha.
Santosha and Tapas, Swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhana. These are Niyamas that has to be followed, and not to be followed, that is Yama. Those are Ahimsa, Satya, that is truthfulness, Asteya, that is what non-stealing. We call it non-stealing, that is the effect of Asteya, that is not missing what you don't have at this moment. Asteya is not comparing yourself with others and wishing to have what they have. Asteya is not wishing you could have those things. This is Asteya. Teya means seeing, and Asteya means not seeing. Such a beautiful definition. I thought I should bring it to your mind.
Thank you very much, Sureshji.
That's very nice, Sureshji. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
No, when you see, I took before the, sorry, I'm taking little more time. In 1998, I had gone to Tirupati and I took this Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Prabhavananda in 1998 when I had gone to, this was given as a gift to me by my uncle. Okay. There I was not at Art of Living teacher or not at joined Art of Living. I read this and I read Gandhi's Experiment with Truth, and that changed my completely, the whole, I don't know what affected this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and that I only read it. Okay. Once
Share
reading.
the title of the book once again on the group, if you don't mind, Suresh ji?
I think, yeah, Patanjali Yoga Sutras by Swami Prabhavananda.
Swami
Okay.
Prabhavananda.
Prabhavananda. It's not Chinmay Michels. It might be. I will give you. Okay. Then this affected my mind so much. I know still August 20th, 1998, we had come from Euro trip and all that. We enjoyed everything. I just decided that I should follow these two books, especially the Gandhi's Experiment with my life, this one, Truth. And this, I left all my tea, coffee, milk, everything, whatever and I started that. Since then, I am following the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and then I joined the Art of Living teacher, this one become. Still, I am following those Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and whenever I go into deep, I am getting a new meanings of these all. You know, since 1998, I have been reading it. And now this new definition of Asteya is come, you see. Such a beautiful knowledge, you know. As you go on polishing yourself, you get so deep. That is what is Sadhya. And we are doing that. So wonderful to join this group.
And somewhat like even the first yajna, which is the discipline of sensory activities.
Shama and Dhamma.
Yeah.
Even
the first, yeah.
Shama and Dhamma definitions, you know, I have read so many times, but I was not understanding, you know. But now it has ingrained in us due to the practices of sadhana and all that, pranayama and sadhana. It has been ingrained automatically because Guru, see, all this Guruji's whole thing is on Ashtanga Yoga, this one, limbs, you know. And these are limbs. They are not, see, once you follow Shama, then Dhamma will come, and then Pranayama, then asanas, then this. It's not like that. What Guruji gave on the first day, Sudarshan Kriya, is the highest samadhi he gave us. What he says is, these are limbs. Those are not the steps. And once you get into that one limb, you pull one limb, all the limbs will follow. So Guruji's whole this art of living is completely that Sudarshan Kriya is on that Ashtanga Yoga. Means he gave us samadhi on the first day itself, that is Sudarshan Kriya. Then all these limbs, you know, Shama, Dhamma, though it may take little bit time, has come together. So you need not worry about it. Those have come automatically to you because you followed that Sudarshan Kriya samadhi at one time. And no Guru had given this definition of Ashtanga Yoga. Everyone said, first follow the Shama, then this, then do asanas, then meditation, then that, then samadhi will come. But Guruji is completely, first he gave this Sudarshan Kriya samadhi, and all the limbs have come together, automatic to us. though it may vary in time to practice and all that. But he has given it such a guru. We have to be very, 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 very surrender to him and this wonderful it is.
Hariom, Annapurna ji has asked the question that which book are we following? It is Gita, Bhagavad Gita Home Study by Swami Dayanand ji, and it is already, if you will go to the group profile, no documents, chapter 4, it is already shared by Brahmaraji. Okay, Annapurna ji.
I was just talking about this first yajna. So what really I felt is very important to know that all the fanciful and mechanical activities are also offered onto the fire of deliberation, meaning that all one's activities are conscious and deliberate. This is what is meant by control, and this is kind of yajna. This was very revealing to me. It's not just the having control, but even all the activities which are offered are deliberately done and consciously done.
Yeah, it makes our whole life prayerful, no? It's so beautiful.
If only this knowledge had been from the childhood age, like if it would have been in the syllabus a little, so it would have helped so much.
Yeah, that's why I believe that this should be the syllabus in schools and colleges.
Yeah. Like I heard that some part is being Modi ji is trying to inculcate some portion of Gita in schools. Maybe they will be defining some portion, like what should be taught. It should be there.
I was lucky to be in central school, that is Kendriya Vidyalaya, way back in 1965. And we had Bhagavad Gita as a this one chapter, not chapter, to be taught. First chapter and second chapter, 9th and 10th standard. And we have been inculcated that.
Yeah, you are very lucky.
I'm lucky to have that.
You are very lucky.
Later on, it was, I think in 1960 or 70s, they told it had not to be done. Secularism and all that. Indira Gandhi brought that.
The initial
it was there.
Education, like the Gurukuls they were having.
No, even in Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Gurukul, where the pattern of teaching was there. The children were sent to Gurukuls away from homes. Then that teaching would be inculcating all these things. But at present scenario, that teaching is all materialistic teaching. Nothing of this sort. No moral values. Rather, I had gone to one of like the parent-teacher meeting. I said to one of the teachers that you don't have moral classes in your schedule, because when we were studying, there was always a period of moral classes and moral science, and alternate day there was a this games thing. But at present they start their schedule with the proper subjects. They don't have moral science as a subject at all. I'm talking about DPS, like it's a chain of schools. It's only the teaching is only for your gaining knowledge and for gaining a good career and money, nothing more.
It is just we have to fight for our own Sanskriti. You know, I had to fight for keep Sanskrit as for my kids when they were in school. They were in Bhavans. I'm talking about Bharatiya Vidyapit. My child was studying there. They removed Sanskrit for French and other foreign language. I was the only parent who was fighting, and the parents were saying that it has no scope. So kindly do not have them as burden on the kids. Sanskrit as a subject.
You don't.
And I'm glad right now, Arsha Vidyapit, Swami Dhanyanandji and Swami Paramatmanandji, they are all visiting every schools in Gujarat, and they are giving this Bhagavad Gita lessons to the school going kids. I mean, it is so well done, Arsha Vidyapit. And even Chinmaya Mission, they are doing it on a regular basis, offering Bhagavad Gita to the school.
It should be promoted. Like you have to learn your language first, then go for other languages. We don't know our language, and we are learning the language of the world.
Yeah, they had introduced French at that time. Imagine right
French,
now,
German,
I mean,
right?
what with the use of that language now?
Yeah, it's all just waste of time, I think. Wasting the time of children, and of course, making them learn which is of no use. Sanskrit should be taught from the beginning.
Yeah, it is such a scientific language, you know. It is so much in harmony with our breath, even the pronunciation. It is really, I'm urging everyone to learn that language. It is, and we are so lucky that Sanskrit Bharati is offering everything at completely free of cost for everybody.
Just let us know when you are starting your class.
I'm still a student, Mrinalji. I'm still a kindergarten student, taken the first step.
If we had followed all the yajnas, the whole life is total yajna, isn't it? Each point they have said, like even the breath can be yajna, your giving dana can be yajna, your every action.
Eating is a yajna.
Eating is a yajna that I need to really follow, I feel. That's where my weak point.
Eating eating in moderation is a yajna.
Yeah. But again, they have said it's no. If you have noticed, there is no one rule they have given here. According to you, you put some rules and regulations with prayers. It's not said that it needs to be done like these fixed diets are there. Maybe they meant according to your prakriti or whatever, but there has to be a discipline. This is what is meant.
Actually, whole day is to be lived in a disciplined mode only. The sleeping, taking, eating, thinking, speaking, everything, all your activities, everything should be in discipline. It's tapasvi, like you have to become a tapasvi.
When I was in college, at that time, I was undergoing some personality development course. And there in this Indo-American society, that professor said to some of us collegians, who could not have a diet control. So he said, every time you're eating, you say you're digging your grave with your teeth. You're digging your grave I'm digging my grave with my teeth. I'm digging my grave with my teeth. I'm digging my grave with my teeth. So when you're eating, if you keep on saying that, then
Very nice sentence.
that is what he had told us. It just came back to me at that time.
Very
He had
nice.
told us to do it that way. And what I
We'll have
found
to.
worked as far as food discipline is concerned is if you chew on a piece of a solid carrot, no, like you make, you don't just chop it fine. You keep big pieces of it and you eat a carrot, the jawbone gets tired and it sends a wrong signal to the brain, stomach is full. So even then the discipline comes in, especially for diabetic patients and all that. The more of the raw salads they eat before the meal starts, the better for them. Then their food intake itself will go down. So I have
Very true.
found that also to work and I have followed it quite religiously to the extent that now when there is spicy food, I only take salad with chapati. I don't take the spicy food at all. I just leave it.
Yeah.
Quickly, I'll bring in the astrology part over here. I have Ketu in first house, and it's the karmas are burnt over here like anything. It's there is a Agni, but this is Badavagni. So if you can withstand that Agni, then most of your karmas will be burnt. And I'm totally a foodie person, and I would eat, I would cook for everybody. I would like to feed people. I would like to cook also. But at some point, uh, as you said, there was no control as such over here. And Ketu does one thing that, okay, you learn things and then start leaving those. It is a separative graha. You need to leave things. It takes you towards mukti. But this, I think, is a very strongest samskara in me. So it has so happened that I can cook, but I cannot eat any spicy food or so. Just now, what you said, which I should be following, which I was not doing. Then it is been taught to you in a harder way. Though I don't miss it out like that, what you call desire to eat and all has gone, but I have learned it in a very hard way. This is what I feel. This is what I have learned. Like if you don't learn it, there is a way the grahas will teach you in a harder way. So better to learn it.
See, when we did Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha, at that time, especially in Tattva Bodha, we studied that there is a Devi Devta assigned to every organ of our body, if you remember that part of it. And then now, if by overeating excessive spices, if that organ is being affected, the Devta in charge of that is also being harassed, no? See, if a child is sad, won't the parents feel also sorrowful, mournful? Why is my child sad? We are all God's children, na? So if our children are not happy, are we happy? So would God be happy if we are sad? Similarly, all the organs in our body also are controlled by some Devi or Devta is in charge of it. And then when that is being harassed, and I tell you that science has proven that these organs keep on supporting you no matter how much atyachar you do. Atyachar means how much of agony you cause it. But only when it is 75% to 80% damage that it caves in. It does not go on strike like this labor union workers go on strike. So it does not shut down for the day or something. It keeps on supporting all your activities till it is 80% damaged. And by that time, then when you go to the hospital and you do all your tests, it is a little too late for that organ. So whether it is a heart problem with blockages or whether it is a kidney failure or whatever, the body keeps internal organs of the body keeps supporting you. It is only then that finally when it can no more take in the atyachar, it breaks down. It caves in. near about till death, it does not, it gives you support. It keeps on supporting your activities, no matter what atrocities you perform on it. So from that angle, then it is our internal organs. Externally, we look upon it. We go to beauty parlors, males go to gyms, whatever, gymnasiums. They build up their body externally. Internally, it is not seen, but we need to care for it. It is our body. And there is no break for it. Remember that it works for all the 7 days in a week. There is no Diwali chutti. There is no New Year holiday, nothing, Christmas vacation, nothing of that sort. 24/7 it is working.
It is so elastic that it adjusts itself to all the
Yes, till
punishment we
breakdown
give
point.
to him.
Till breakdown point.
Fine. Yes, later on. But until that, it sustains so much. And we don't see that what it opposes.
Just because it
so
is
if
not
we,
visible, we perform the atrocities. That is what I am saying. Because the organs, internal organs are not visible. So we just need to see it with more awareness, and then the discipline comes. That it is our heart, it is our kidney, it is our liver. What are we putting into our mouth that is going to cause liver damage? Even medicines, doctors call it first pass. That means a foreign body, a medicine has entered into your mouth, and then it keeps on. It is like a war starting inside. Foreign body attack, 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 attack. It is taken to the liver, where the Ghamasan Yuddh takes place, as it is called, and there is total warfare there. And then that is why nowadays the word given by doctor is non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. So this cirrhosis happens not because of alcohol, but because of all these medicines. First pass is only what the medicine is not destroyed in the liver, that comes out. And then that works as your antibiotic or whatever, wherever it has to work, whichever medicine you have taken. So that 75% of that medicine is destroyed in the liver. But at that time, then in the war zone, what had damage is done? Like so many bombs falling on Ukraine. How much of the land of Ukraine, the buildings are damaged? We all know that. Similarly, inside our body, how much our liver is going through. So basically, I mostly, for whatever like coughs, colds, like anything, mild diarrhea or something, I rely on herbs only. Ayurvedic medicine, not on allopathy.
Hari Om, Persiji, may I request tomorrow if you can share your inputs for Kumbhak and Rechak pranayam, please?
Kumbhak and Rechak. Okay.
Dhanyavad.
You want to
Exactly
close
this.
the
I know
session, Belaji?
Yeah, we are beyond the time, but I just wanted to just share one thing is that a wonderful discussion we've had. I'm sorry, I was in and out, the internet was shaky. The thing is, I think in schools we should have a counselor who is well versed in Bhagavad Gita, who's grounded in who's understood Swadharma. The counselor who can guide students correctly into their careers rather than just go after money. If they can be counseled, I think every counselor, student counselor, should have some knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. We can close now, maybe.
But again, here I would say that children are not at liberty to choose. It is more often the parents which cause, see how much of pressure is put on the children.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
debating, they need to excel. In sports, they need to excel. In elocution competition, you have to come first. So if you look at it, what is the parent's viewpoint that is entrusted, imposed upon the child? So
Yeah.
counselor working with the child would be contrary to the
Child,
parents' view. Parents are all
child
materialistic.
includes the child-parent complex. What I meant was the
Yeah,
child-parent
but the
complex.
parents don't come to school to the counselor, and their viewpoints are in complete opposition. It's the parents who need the tutoring first. Everybody is into a materialistic mindset today,
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. That needs
correct.
to change. children will be lost between the dispute between the parents and the counselor probably.
Maybe we can deliberate on this tomorrow. We'll continue. Maybe we can close the session. Bela, you want to close the session?
Yes, Brahmaraji.
Yeah, please.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashit dukkha vag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sat Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Dhanyavad.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you, Bela.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you, Mrinalji, and everyone.